You like a little more of that Hughes harp out there? It's terrible how nobody identified the mystery sound tonight. Well, of course, that's the trouble with people. Unobservant, slobbish, sitting out there with their sloping foreheads cutting to the wind. Nothing to offer except an occasional... Oh, let's see. How would you like another salute to today's person? Would you like that? Would you please bring me on another that little honk and ribble music, that hairy music there? Bring it out just a little bit. Very good. I feel like singing, gang. Bring it out big. Let's go. All together now. Gang, get your move. Got eyes of blue. I never cared for eyes of blue, but she's got eyes of blue, and that's my weakness now. As she's got a dimpled cheeks. I never cared for dimpled cheeks, but she's got a dimpled cheeks, and that's my weakness now. Oh my, oh my, oh me, oh me, oh my. Oh, I should be good, I could be good, but gee, oh, wow, wow, wow. She likes to bill and coo. I never liked to bill and coo, but she likes to bill and coo, and that's my weakness now. All right, where's my horn here? All right. Oh, she talks a baby talk. I never cared for baby talk, but she talks baby talk, and that's my weakness now. Oh, as she likes engagement rings. I never liked engagement rings, but oh wow, she likes engagement rings, and that's my weakness now. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, and we're heading for the parson's door, I guess. Oh wow, it's trouble. Oh, she likes a family. I never liked a family, but she likes a family, and that's my weakness. Oh, that's my weakness, baby. That's my weakness now. Bop. Oh, wow. And they say Bobby Darin. Holy smokes. You're going to be sick, boy, one day when I play the Copa in Griffith, Indiana. Now, would you please give me a little more of that hairy music? We must salute this lady here. There's one other lady that we've got to salute tonight. Little Harry. Very good. And tonight, this Sirius-type radio station once again salutes another person who has said it for all of us. We are saluting Bernadette Smith, a 28-year-old mother of two who lives in Findon, England. She claims now that she can drink pint after pint after pint after pint after pint of beer in 4 seconds each. She is entering an international beer drinking contest to prove it. We quote her here. Beer drinking has made me happy, she said, and we continue to quote. I am much more jolly than a few years ago when I didn't drink. Cha-cha-ro, cha-cha-cha-ro, pa-pa-ro, pa-pa-ro, pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ro, bo-bo. Hey, that's enough. That's enough of that. That gets set the mood there. You know, it's not easy to follow the Republican convention. Tell you, talk about dog eggs. Boy, that's a bad scene in showbiz. And not only that, you know, our dog acts and dog acts. I mean, there's such a thing as following arthritic spaniels. That's not good. And that reminds me, this is WOR, AM and FM New York. Hit the whoopee button, Larry, please. Hit it. Yes, sir. That's the money end of it.
Miller High Life, the bright, clear taste.
Get them all. They're still gasping. I
Miller High Life, the champagne of bottled beer.
Oh, look at their eyes.
There's only one champagne of bottled beer.
We dedicate this to this lady in England.
Flavorful.
It didn't say what kind of beer she gets guzzled
Miller
on.
High Life.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-cha-cha-cha.
Brewed from a century-old recipe, Miller High Life has a rich heritage and tradition. A bright, clear taste. Unequaled, unquestioned, unchanging. Available on tap, in cans, and in familiar crystal clear bottles. Miller High Life is always sparkling, flavorful, distinctive. Enjoy Miller High Life yourself.
Miller High Life, the champagne of bottled beer.
Yes, Miller High Life, the champagne of bottled beer.
Listen, somebody wrote me a note and says, Shepard, you know, there's large areas of your life you obviously don't talk about. That's right. Would you hit the commercial button again?
Try new Mayo 7 with that real mayonnaise taste. 7 calories per teaspoon.
Hey, what do you mean? It says here this one has to be sung. Kind of a cockamamie idea. Is it you mean John Gambling sings it?
Spoon on
The heck is this? He's even got a fat voice. Oh, the new Mayo 7 has 7 calories per teaspoon, but has that genuine real mayonnaise flavor. You only have to taste it to believe it all the way. Mayo 7's new secret formula lets you eat and scop and enjoy all your favorite foods all the way down the line and get skinny. You stay slim without worrying about calories because Mayo 7 has only 7 calories per teaspoon. So savor the delicious flavor Mayo 7 brings out and go all the way with Mayo 7. Bring it up. Named after the famous hospital of the same name.
New Mayo 7. Yourself thin.
Gee whiz. You mean to tell me they sold that for scale? They're out of their mind. Richard Burton couldn't have done that. Way to earn a living here. Ridiculous. You know, speaking of that lady with the beer there, and that reminded me of something. I read that piece. Before we begin this story, will all of you raise your hand out there who are squeamish? I mean, who have what they used to call a weak stomach. Anybody got a weak stomach out there? Is that Bronx Tomato listening? If that Bronx Tomato is listening, would that Bronx Tomato please get on the phone here and tell me whether or not she's got a weak stomach? You know, how many of you have seen a commercial, speaking of weak stomachs, that you want to reach out and you just want to hit the damn television set? You want to hit it, you know? No, I mean, you just want to hit it. And you know if you hit it, you'd only get your hand cut and the gas would blow up, you know, and you get your hand in the high voltage and you probably blow your arm right off, you know, all that. You just want to hit it. You know the one that I can't stand? I really get bugged. Have you seen a nastier lady than the one that comes out? I'll tell you what's wrong. I'll tell you. You've got bad breath. Bad breath. What a chick. Can you imagine sitting at a little intimate boîte with that, you know, and you know, you're trying to get romantic, and she says, I'll tell you what's the matter with you. You know why you didn't get invited, huh? You stink. Oh. And the glass is the whole bit. You want to reach out and kick her, you know? And she keeps ducking away, you know. I think they know that. Have you seen that lady? I mean, you know, we're all victims, let's face it. It just depends on where you know, where it stops and where it begins. You know, speaking of, I don't want to bother anybody out there. Anybody out there with the squeamish? Raise your hand. I mean, or forever hold your peace. Don't write me any letters then afterwards, you know. I'm just warning you that listening to that little story, you know, reading that thing about the lady the first time she drank the beer. Oh, boy. Does that remind me of a story? Do you remember when you were pure as the driven snow? Any of you out there? It's hard to remember, isn't it? I mean, do you remember when you were just like a little piece of blotting paper that nobody had spilled nothing on? Huh? I mean, it must have been a time, you know, there really was. And I remember the time. I'm going to have to tell you the story. It's a nasty, rotten story about the first time, not the first time that I drank a beer, because the first time I drank a beer, I just went, ugh. You know, I didn't drink anymore. That was the end of that. But, boy, I'll tell you, one of the nights, any of you remember actually getting so sick that you can understand, that night, you can understand totally the whole concept of suicide? I mean, have you ever had a thing happen to you like that? I mean, so rotten, crummy, just so fantastically sick that you sweat and you just know that it's all over. And not only that, you hope that it's going to end soon, quick, before you blow your stack. Well, I had a fantastic event happen to me. I know I've never told this story on the air, never. But this is not really an Army story, although it is related to the Army. And it happened within a good strong spit from here. I mean, with the wind, that is, of course, with a chew of tobacco, which gives you a little more distance, you get a little more arch on it that way. That's different from bubble gum, which is kind of thin and weak. But, I mean, you get a little nail pouch stuck back there in the bicuspids and you let her go. You can get 40, 50 feet at a crack. I've seen it happen. I saw a guy one time. See, I told you it was going to be disgusting. Face the facts that a lot of life is. And some of the guttiest stuff is disgusting. Now, why is it that the same people who go and applaud that completely slobbish scene in Tom Jones will write me an angry letter? I mean, I guess because that was in color, huh? And you could see, the gravy dripping down and uggish. Talk about a sicking. but I'm in the Army. You got the scene now. Now it's been a long time. You see. I'm in the Army for, it seems like 7 or 8 eons, something like that. So long that the Army is deeply ingrained in me. You don't even know, there's no other way to live. It's just, you're just in the Army, that's all. Some people consider themselves human beings. Other people consider themselves women. Well, I was in the Army. That's it. It's part of your life. You don't think really in terms of not being in the Army. And one day, out of the blue, like some fantastic lightning bolt, like some giant fist, an enormous male fist came out and sent about 50 of us back to the separation center to be kicked out. Unbelievable moment, And we didn't believe it, actually. Being in the Army, we didn't really believe it. We figured, they'd get us in this room. There was all kinds of rumors about what they were going to do. They would get us in this room, and there would be a sergeant, and he would step on a button, and the floor would open up, and we would be in Okinawa, fighting hand to hand. Or, all kinds of rumors that they'd get us there, and they would make us sign papers to get out, and then the sergeant would go, hey, now I've got you. And he would whip away the paper that you signed, and underneath it, in carbon copy, was the thing that said you signed up for 400 years to be a PFC for the rest of your life, And everybody was very cynical about it until they actually shipped us. We had been hearing about these places. You read about them in Yank magazine. It's a great magazine. Talk about the first truly obscene magazine. That was Yank. And, one of my favorite cartoons, I'll never forget that great cartoon of Sad Sack. These little cartoons rippled throughout the whole Army, throughout the whole world, actually. Guys were in Iceland, other guys were in India, other guys were in Burma, and there were guys living in Africa and guys in India, all laughing at one cartoon at one moment in time. And that was a cartoon that Sad Sack had. Do you remember Sad Sack? Great cartoon. Well, he is nothing like now, today, I can tell you. To give you an idea, Sad Sack, in that particular cartoon, he was asleep in his bunk. You remember that one?